Good hero shooters are usually few and far between, but Overwatch is one of those rare games that was able to stand the test of time. Sure, 80% of the player base hates the game, and it's still one of the most toxic communities I've ever had the displeasure of interacting with, but at its core, this game is a lot of fun. Especially with your friends, because there's nothing like building memories over a late-night losing streak with the boys.
Alright, that was a weird... Alright, that game's just fucking cursed then.
4 wins, 9 losses. One more win to go. Let's see if I.
I forgot we went to losing streak.
Overwatch is a game that I have deleted and reinstalled various times, and over the years I've noticed a problem that most games experience when they add new characters to a playable roster. I am of course talking about power creep, which is a massive problem that Overwatch has at the moment. Let's go into more detail. First of all, what is power creep? To put it in its simplest terms, power creep refers to the gradual increase in power of newer content when compared to existing content. Examples of power creep vary from game to game, but let's use Resident Evil 4 as a quick example. The W870 shotgun is a reliable pump shotgun with solid damage. However, the moment you unlock the Striker, you will never ever touch the 870 shotgun ever again, because the Striker is better in every single way. There's no reason to touch that old shotgun ever again. Now with that in mind, let's look at the cast of the Overwatch heroes. In order to best get my point across, I'm going to be mainly talking about the tanks, since I think they're the best example of the sheer gap in power between the old Overwatch heroes and the newer Overwatch heroes. Also, before we start, I'm speaking from the perspective of a diamond-ranked player. So with that laid out, let's get started. Looking at the base kits of all the Overwatch tanks, you'll notice a very clear discrepancy in the design of the new Overwatch tanks when compared to the old Overwatch tanks. Let's look at every tank hero that's been added since Overwatch's release. Those tanks are Orisa, Doomfist, Sigma, Wrecking Ball, Junker Queen, Ramatra, and Mauga. All of these tanks have an ability where they gain either a health or shield buff. Orisa has her Fortify, Doomfist gets a shield buff after he uses his ultimate, Sigma has his Kinetic Grasp, Wrecking Ball has his Adaptive Shield, Ramatra has Nemesis Form, Junker Queen has Commanding Shout, and Mauga has Cardiac Overdrive. These are all incredibly useful abilities that are sorely missed in every single Overwatch 1 tank, with the only exception being Roadhog. It doesn't stop there though. Reinhardt is an awful tank for many reasons, but one of his biggest problems is the fact that despite having a shield with a ton of health, he can't do anything behind it. With that in mind, let's look at Ramatra, who can place a shield and still lay down suppressing fire while using his abilities. Sigma is the exact same way. Why would I ever play Reinhardt when Ramatra and Sigma also have shields with way better base kits? And yes, I understand that Reinhardt has a mobile shield with a ton of health, but it still does not warrant playing him over other heroes like Ram or Sigma. It's not just their basic abilities though. I have a massive bone to pick with Ramatra's ultimate. While designing the ultimate, some genius at Blizzard thought, let's make an ultimate similar to Reaper's Death Blossom, but he gets 600 HP, he can move, he can do his basic attack on top of doing passive damage. It is so fucking strong, especially when compared to the ultimates on other tanks. Now, these are only some examples of power creep in Overwatch, and I'm sure there are some examples that I missed. With the power creep problem laid out, what is the best way to solve it? One of the most reliable methods of dealing with power creep is simply making the old stuff stronger. And I'm talking about a lot more than simple number changes. Now, does every Overwatch 1 tank need a hard rework? Of course not. Okay, Reinhardt maybe, but the other tanks can be balanced with the new tanks barring some changes. It may take a lot of time, but it is possible. However, considering the company that's behind this game, I'm not exactly optimistic that it's going to happen, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.